You're 19. You've never owned anything that didn't fit in a backpack. And tonight you'll commit your first crime for 200 euros. A man you've met twice is going to pay it to you for walking across a bridge with 40 packs of cigarettes taped flat against your ribs. This is your life as every rank of smuggler, from the kid who carries to the man who owns the route. And the night you stop being able to tell the difference between the cargo and yourself. The man waiting by the car keeps a ferry ticket folded soft in his shirt pocket. He takes it out when he's thinking, presses the crease flat with his thumb, puts it back. You'll learn later that it's his own ticket from the night he came across the same water the other direction 20 years ago as someone else's cargo. His name is Marco. Tonight, he is the only person in the world who knows where you're standing. Level 0. You pack crates in a port depot for 9 euros an hour, and the best part of the shift is the 10 minutes you spend watching the trucks idle at the crossing. You don't know it yet, but that's the last time movement will ever look simple to you. A line on a map, a man in a booth, a thing that is allowed on one side and worth triple on the other. You think the booth is the obstacle. You'll spend the rest of your life learning that the booth is the business. Level 1. The carrier. Marco picks you because you have a face that apologizes before it speaks. The cigarettes go flat against your ribs under a wide shirt, 40 packs of Marlboro, and you walk the pedestrian lane of the bridge at the hour the shift changes. Your heart is so loud, you're sure the officer can hear it through the railing. He looks up, says good evening, and you say it back without your voice shaking, and that is the moment you learn how easily you can lie. On the other side, a man you don't know hands you 200 euros in tins, and you have never in your life held money that came that fast. That night, you buy your mother her groceries without checking a single price, and the feeling is so clean, it scares you. Then, the problem arrives on its own. 40 packs is nothing. The margin is real, but the risk per crossing is the same whether you carry 40 packs or a van. So you ask Marco how the people with vans do it. He looks at you a long moment and folds the ticket back into his pocket. Vans get known, he says. You want to get known slowly. Level 2. The driver. Within a year you're driving. A panel van with a false floor. Cartons stacked under a layer of crated tomatoes. And you learn the crossing the way you once learned a girl's schedule. Which officer works which night? Who counts and who waves? The Thursday man who never checks because his daughter is sick and he leaves early. You bring that officer a carton of his brand every week, left in the wheel well, and he calls you by a name that isn't yours and means it kindly. This is the part nobody warns you about. How friendly it all is. How the law has a favorite cigarette. The cost is physical now. You don't sleep the night before a crossing. Your hands have learned a stillness that isn't calm. It's the opposite of calm, held very still. A carrier you trained, a kid younger than you were, gets pulled at the line, and you watch from 40 meters back as they walk him into the building, and you drive your tomatoes through the next lane because stopping would mean you knew him. You did know him. You get as far as the roundabout before you have to pull over and sit with the engine running. You sit there a long time. The engine idles. That night, Marco asks if you ever wonder why the van carries tomatoes one week and something heavier the next. You don't have an answer. The question doesn't quite land. It just sits there. Level 3. The operator. They stop asking you to drive. They start asking you what to load. You sit above the route now. A straight you can see across on a clear day. The lights of the other side close enough to lie to yourself about. You don't touch product. You assign it. A rigid inflatable boat with 2 big outboard engines. A fishing trawler that has only ever caught contraband. 3 vans and a Thursday man on each crossing. Marco drives one of those vans now. The man who taught you the crossing waits for the nights you choose to give him. And neither of you says out loud that the order of things has turned over. The route does not care what it carries. You thought you were in the cigarette business. You were never in the cigarette business. You're in the business of a line not mattering. And a line that doesn't matter will move whatever pays the most to cross it. And cigarettes are the least it will ever carry. The cartons were the on-ramp. The route was always going to fill with heavier things. Level 4. The broker. The men above you hand you a number and a coastline and tell you it's yours. Now you don't load the boats either. You price the crossing. There is a morning that spring when you walk into the haulage office and 12 people stand up because you walked in. Not from fear, from the specific respect of people who know what you built and what it cost. You stand there for a moment. This is what you came for. This is what all of it was for. You hold that for the length of a coffee. And the most profitable cargo on any route in the world, the one with the highest margin and the lowest weight, is a person who has run out of other doors. 8,000 euros a head. They pay it in cash folded into belts, in gold sewn into hymns, in promises from relatives in cities you'll never see. You send your mother money every month and let her keep believing the easier version of you, because it's the last clean thing you can give her. You tell yourself you can keep cigarettes and refuse people. For about a month, you do. Then a competitor takes the human loads, and with them goes the trawler, the officers, the Thursday men, because the route is one route and you cannot own half of it. Refuse the cargo and you lose the line. Lose the line and you're 19 again on a bridge with 40 packs. The choice is in front of you, and it is not really a choice. Marco says nothing about the new cargo. He just presses the ticket flat with his thumb, the way he does when there is nothing left to decide. You go out on one crossing, the only one you'll ever go on at this rank, because a pilot gets sick and the weather won't hold. 40 people on a boat built for 12. Halfway across, an old man near the bow leans toward you over the noise of the engines, calm as a man on a porch, and says, "You think you're the smuggler? You're only the part of the boat that can be arrested." Then he turns back to the water. You never learn his name. He's right, and you will hear that sentence for the rest of your life. There is a list, after, of who didn't make a later crossing that winter. You read the names until you reach one you arranged the boat for. You stop at the name before his. Level 5. The patron. You never have to be near the water again. You own routes now, plural, a strait, a mountain pass, a stretch of fence with a tunnel under it. You have a haulage company that is real, that pays its tax, that exists so the rest can vanish inside it. Your mother thinks you're in shipping, and she's not wrong. You bought her a house with a view of the sea, 4 bedrooms, and you have slept in it twice, because to visit is to draw a line back to yourself, and you've spent your whole life learning what lines are worth. You can move anything across any line on Earth. You cannot move yourself. There's no route out of being the man who owns the routes. The only people who leave this rank leave it the way the cargo leaves, and you have priced that exit yourself. And there is a bad crossing one winter, weather no pilot wants, a load that can't wait. You go through the names. You get to the end of them. There is only one. The name that comes back to you is Marco, older now, slower, still pressing that ferry ticket flat with his thumb when he thinks. You send him. He doesn't ask why you don't go yourself. He stopped being able to refuse the route long before you did. He doesn't come back. 3 weeks later, the ticket comes back to you in an envelope with no note. Soft, folded, the crease worn through to a hole. It's the only part of him the water returned. You keep the ticket in your own shirt pocket now. You take it out when you're thinking, press the crease flat with your thumb, put it back. You came across this water once as a boy with a backpack, certain the booth at the line was the only thing standing between you and a life. The booth was never the obstacle. The booth was the first thing you ever paid to cross, and you never stopped paying. And somewhere along the way, the thing being moved across the line stopped being cigarettes and started being you. That is what a smuggler is. Not a person who beats the line. A person the line uses to prove it was always real. If this got to you, subscribe and drop a like. There's more coming. Everyone has a booth they think they're beating. A tax, a rule, a line somebody drew that they've decided doesn't apply to them. You pay it anyway. You always pay it. Tonight, somewhere on a bridge at shift change, a kid with a face that apologizes before it speaks has 40 packs taped flat against his ribs and 200 euros coming, and a coffee tin at home that's about to hold the fastest money he's ever made. He thinks the money is the beginning. It is. That's the problem.